All right, the boys are humming. We are here, Pictou County Wellness Center, up in the suite. Some great hospitality. The boys are tired, but the work continues, as we like to say here in the company. Fresh off a Toronto trip. I'm happy to have Brendan here. Brendan, show yourself. Wave to the fans. Great to have you here from Port Hood. Dudes here as well. Jeff, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to put it, is back in the city, holding down the streams that we have this weekend back in the city. So it's a nice little treat for Dudes and I to be out here in Pictou County, to be able to stream the Bantam Memorial U13 UA or U double A
U15 AA and A.
Okay, yeah. So we're out here for that, and like I said, fresh from Toronto, and I do apologize to everyone at home that we didn't get the Toronto podcast out sooner. It was just a hell of a trip, and we're going to be able to explain ourselves here for the next how long can we go for, Brendan? An hour?
The foreseeable future, anyway.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how things go.
Okay, sounds good. Well, first of all, should I say how I am? How are you? We'll go with Dudes. Dudes, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm good. It was a long trip. It's hard to complain about a long trip when you're in Toronto, especially me being a Leafs fan. And just a hockey fan, period, to be at the All-Star game. Yeah, we got stuck. But way better scenario that we were in than the people at home, especially at my house personally, having to shovel out all by herself, the fiance. So I'm good, man. We got a day rest, and we're right back to it. But this is kind of how we drew it up and how we wanted things to go. So I'm happy to be here.
It's crazy what one night of sleep in your bed does.
Yeah.
Even what one home-cooked meal does. Just complete reset. And also what one game of hockey does. Like playing hockey at noon at Centennial the other day, just sweating, moving, being a human again and an athlete. Like you just feel like a complete new person again.
And you need it, right?
What?
Like you and I specifically, like I know when you said you were going to play hockey, I said enjoy the skate because it's going to feel great, number one, and you need it. You need to sweat. You need to get back to your regular routine because whether we like it or not, man, we grew up athletes. We grew up hockey players, we call ourselves, but that's what our bodies are used to, and they crave those every now and then. So,
well, we're going to the Montreal Meltdown. We're going to be there for what, 47 days, so we better get used to life on the road. But
might have to find maybe like a shinny team or something while we're up there.
That's actually a great idea.
The only thing I can think of, though, is hockey gear. Traveling up, right? Got to travel light.
We'll figure it out. We always do.
That's a little bit down the road now here, so.
Yeah, let's do this podcast. And then we'll figure, so I guess maybe I'll explain how the NHL All-Star game kind of came about. We have a busy schedule, coming up, and within this company, when guys are working hard, we like to reward everyone. So I knew that we were going to be flat out busy from now till
June.
Yep. Yeah, flat out busy from now till June with really no time off in between. So I thought it would just be a nice little trip to go up to Toronto with the guys, have some fun, let a little steam loose. Mm-hmm. Is that what they say?
Let loose or let some steam off. Either way, you just combine them. That's
whatever. So that's what we did. Flights weren't that overpriced, tickets weren't that overpriced for the game. It was reasonable. We made it work. So we went up and did what we had to do. Cheap man pays twice. That's one of the mottos of this company. You try not to buy cheap equipment, try not to buy cheap travel expenses, and that's kind of where I didn't listen to my own advice. I went with a company named I can't even say them without can't even say it.
Why?
We went with a company called Flair.
Yep.
And just complete mayhem. Just a complete mayhem of a situation. Actually, a great thing happened, Brendan, where usually a flight coming out of Halifax is packed to the gills. 100 seats on a plane.
Ish, yep.
100 tickets. It's packed.
Yep.
But this one flight that we luckily get out on has, 17 open seats. And for some reason, the people moving forward with this, I can't even call it, they're a company of an airline, decide that one person isn't in their seat and they have to find this one person and make sure that they're in their right seat.
Right.
And now I'm thinking, what are the listeners thinking? Is Justin serious? Was this actually the issue of being delayed by, an hour and a half?
Well, we were 3 hours delayed originally. And then when we got there, once we got on the plane and on the tarmac, right at the gate, it ended up being almost another 2.5 hours before we could even pull away from the gate.
And as we are going through this situation, we're looking outside because airplanes have windows, and we're seeing the nor'easters slowly start to creep up on us. So as the staff of this airplane are slowly trying to count how many heads are on the plane. They probably went up and down the aisles maybe 4 or 5 times. There was a point where there was a woman counting. No, I'm not going there. There was a woman counting, and she had the pylons, or what's it called when a person directs the plane?
Oh, they're like the traffic sticks or whatever.
The traffic sticks. The traffic stick lady was on counting, and then the next thing you know, I see her outside loading the luggage onto the plane.
Yeah, it's a third-party counter.
So I'm like, why is the lady, the luggage lady, counting heads? And then the next thing you know, you see the actual stewardess count, and no one could get a correct number. And but you got to remember, people, that the flight was already delayed 3 hours. At this point now, 4.5 hours.
Yep.
People are missing their whatever. People are missing family. Luckily, all we're doing is going to a hockey game. So, dudes and I and Jeff, we're like, whatever. It does suck, but I'm not gonna let it ruin my day.
And
but
it was the next day too.
Exactly. So
yeah.
there's tons of people already upset. We're luckily keeping our cool over a head count after a delay of 4.5 hours. Very frustrating. And then when people start to get even more frustrated, that's when you get the hecklers. That's when you start getting people yelling out. The one thing that, unfortunately, the staff yelled back at us. They got on the, what do you call it, intercom?
The intercom, yep.
And they go, look, get in your right seat because I want to go home. So as soon as the staff of the airline starts to complain, that's when things start to go south.
That's right.
4.5 hours.
Yep.
So that's all what I'll say about that.
Yeah, if I can chime in on the situation,
Am I missing anything?
I would say, for the most part, you got it down pat. But like you said, that lady that came in, the third-party counter, to the point, Belly, where we kept our cool, and I even chimed in. You know, like, let me count. I can count by threes, no problem. You know, this is easy. We had 17 empty seats. The number was actually 176. I remember specifically the lady saying that because I wanted to know when she got the correct number, if somebody was to come down here and do this again, if they get that number again. I would say 10 times they went up. And all different people. Like, every person on there. And then the best part is the pilot comes over the intercom, and you're going, oh, here we go. When the pilot comes on, it basically means we're not going anywheres. He comes on, he goes, sorry about the delay, folks. I'm not sure if the people on board can't count or if there's a mess up in the system. So now everyone's super on edge, right? So now the people that are working on the flight are going, well, he just chirped us.
There's no team mentality.
No, man. It was a bunch of individuals. But I did notice one thing before we got on, because we did get dinged for bags, because maybe our error, maybe a scam type deal. Regardless of that, there was a man there, and I don't think he had a seat yet, but he was there ready to get a seat. And she ended up getting him a seat and switched him with another passenger.
I remember this.
And I think that's where the confusion started. Because they were asking people about the emergency exit, and do you speak fully English? Can you communicate at the whole, at a high level, like in an emergency situation? And they ended up switching seats, and then we finally get on the plane, and all this happens. And like you said, they go over the intercom, and they're going, yeah, we're trying to go home. It's like, no shit, like we're on a flight. We all have somewheres to be. People that are in Halifax trying to go back to Toronto are very impatient. And so we don't even end up going until, I think, the time was 1:47.
It was almost dark when we flew out.
We sat at the gate.
It was pretty dark.
And we know at this point, too, Belly, that this storm is coming.
A nor'easter.
If we don't get out now, we're not getting out. Luckily, we did. And it did not stop there, did it?
Well, no, it did not. Well, what else happened?
Well, on the way there, so right when we finally did get to pull off, we got away from the gate, and there was a lady, and everybody keep in mind here.
Oh, yes, I forgot about this. The lady with the
coat.
baby.
All these things are happening within seats of us, right?
Yes,
so it's
I
not like at the
forgot
back
about
of the plane. It's right near us. So then the lady's sitting with, she has her
She was right
coat,
in front of you.
Oh, yeah, the seat just to, front left. She had her coat over her, as a blanket, as if, right? The AC has been pumping for an hour and a half now.
She has a child with her, correct?
No, the lady that stuck up for her had a child with her. So she's sitting there, and I'm not sure what the altercation was, because once we got ready into fly mode, in go my headphones, down go my eyes, we're ready to go. Then I hear another altercation. So I'm thinking, oh, great, here we go.
But this is right as we're about to take off.
Right as we're about to take off.
30
After
seconds.
all of this, and the flight attendant comes down, and he's like, hey, you have to take your coat off for takeoff. And the lady's just kind of like, okay, but why? Give me a reason. I think she was just looking for a reason, and he couldn't give her one. He kept saying, because that's what I'm telling you to do. And he said things like, take it off or you don't fly, or things like that, over a coat draped over somebody that was cold. So finally she gives in, and he was very, very snarky and very degrading in his tone, in my opinion. What are you doing? And then finally she gave the coat up, and he yanked the overhead bin down, like aggressively above her.
This is the same guy that said, "Hurry up, I want to go home," and like over the PA.
That's
now.
right.
Yes.
So everyone's kind of watching this unfold, and everyone's just thinking the same thing. Let's get out of here. Who cares if she's wearing a clown suit? Who cares? A parka. Let's go. So finally she obliges. He gets the coat. He slams the bin down. This is not exaggerating. Like in this motion, he shoves the coat into the thing, and he's pushing it and shoving it, and everyone's just sitting there like, why is he so mad? And then finally he gets a shot, and then there's an arm of the coat hanging outside the bin, and she's like, it's hanging out, and he's like, I don't care. And he looks at her and he goes, took you long enough.
Oh my God.
And so that was it. The lady in front of me, she had a baby with her. The baby was great, cute as hell, kept peeking through the seats at me. So there's a positive part of the story. Didn't notice the baby the rest of the way. Anyway, she goes, no. She stopped the flight attendant, and she goes, why did you have to be like that? And he's like, well, she needs to listen, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, I understand that. But, like, that's not how you should treat somebody. You're on an airline. You're in let's face it, a customer first, customer is right business is a flight attendant.
The customer's always right.
And so she kind of just ripped him up and down. And he was like, well, I was frustrated and stuff, like as if that's a good excuse. And she's like, I understand you're frustrated. We're all pretty frustrated. At this point, it's been an hour 45. We haven't even left the gate. It's already delayed 3 hours. So she finally puts it up there, and she lit into this guy, man, and I ended up tapping her and going, somebody had to say something. And so she goes, listen, I'm not attacking you fully. The whole crew has been nothing but, degrading the entire time. She goes, right from the get-go, you guys come over to the PA and say, oh, we want to go home. Right away, everybody's feeling uneasy.
I tried to give the guy knucks when I walked on. He dodged me on it.
Yeah, they just weren't. And, even at the gate, they were just like, whatever. Have fun, and all that shit. So, yeah, it ended up being a complete shit show. And we haven't even taken off yet, Belly.
Well, we haven't even talked about the flight home. We'll wait till after the end of the podcast. Mm-hmm. If you think the podcast sucks now, just wait till the end. Because the flight home, that could be a whole other episode. But we'll get it in there. But anyways, 5 at this point, 5 hours delayed. You do whatever the customer says. What do I always say about optics? Even though sometimes we do this job and we're frustrated, I always say, boys, tuck it deep. Don't show anyone you're frustrated. Get the job done. Go home. Then you can let it loose. In front of everyone, you get the job done, then you go. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't. Anyways, I won't be flying with them. Man.
Cheap man pays twice.
Cheap man pays twice.
Is the point of this. And
and they dinged you with the bag. The bag was like $100.
$75 for carry-on, right? And that was before we got going. I forgot about this. The lady behind Jeff put up a stink, so it caused an extra 45-minute delays. No, she may have. But she didn't want to pay for the bag, so security had to come.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
And just like the third-party counter, how hard is it to count by 3?
Yeah.
How many sections are there on the plane? Okay, if there's 15 seats of 3, do 15 times 3. Yeah. What's your number? Minus that by the amount of empty seats you have. Boys, I did math foundations, okay, and I didn't do well in it. Yeah. And I could have figured this out to the point where I said something. I wasn't being snarky.
There was nothing to figure out.
No.
We have more seat. We have more leg room. We have more. Let's go. It's a party now.
We forgot this. Then once they get the count, the lady comes in, and she was a boss bitch, man. She came in and she handled shit.
Oh, the lady at the front desk that came on.
She came in. She 176. What's the issue? She walks out. Everyone's like, cool. Everyone's like, remember they clapped?
Yeah.
We haven't even left the ground yet. And so now they're coming back down, and they're saying, if you switch seats, now's the time to tell us. And they went through every seat, Belly, and made sure Matthew, Justin, Jeffrey,
Brendan.
And so I'm sitting there. Jeff and I switched seats, I'm pretty sure, at one point, or someone did, and I took the window, and we were like, man, are we going to, how is this complicating things? It's not.
The cherry on the cake was, so we got the flight throughout, the cherry on the cake, yeah. The cherry on top was, when the flight gets delayed, I got a voucher for $21 because I booked it, so I get all the voucher.
That's right.
So it was like $21. I'm like, great. I'm pretty stressed out. Maybe I'll get myself a little drinky poo, something like that, right? So Buddy comes by and he goes, hey, well, how can I get you a drink? I go, yeah, that'd be great. Could I get a Johnny on the rocks? Johnny Walker. Feel good. Here's the voucher. Warm. No, sorry, we're not accepting vouchers at this time. Let me repeat myself after all this. No, sorry, we're not accepting vouchers at that time. And it literally says on the voucher, apologies for the delay, sir. Here's a $21 voucher to make up for your inconvenience after all this. Okay, great, scan the voucher. That'll go on the Johnny Walker on the rocks. Because I was going to get my whole row a little something. I know $21 wouldn't cover it, but the people I was sitting next to, they were such nice people. It was a Cape Retiner on my right and a guy from Barrie, Ontario on my left.
Line mates.
Line mates, as
That's
you
what
said.
we were calling them, yeah.
Line mates.
You were playing center.
And I said to them, I was like, this might be the flight to get a drink. And they go, well, it's on you if we're getting one. I go, done. I got a voucher. So I look like a big dog with the voucher thing.
$21.
And then Buddy comes up, and I go, yeah, here's my voucher for 21. I'll get a drink, and then I'll put the difference on credit, whatever. And then he says, yeah, sorry, we're not accepting vouchers at this time. It's like, when are you going to accept it if it's not now?
You know what I think of when you say that right away is the dupe fest that we got into in Thunder Bay when we got a free meal every day from the place we were staying, but every time we went
the Sloppy Joe,
it was closed. So when do we get this? We have to wait till May when it opens.
They got us big. The cheap man pays twice.
And that's just, here we go. We haven't even got into the trip yet, Belly. Like actually going to the hotel, that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
We'll
Well,
get there.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. I did end up getting everyone the drinks in the
That's
row.
what I was going to ask.
That was great.
Yep.
And we had some great conversations. The lady sitting to my right, who was from Sydney, couple mutual friends. You know, her son played baseball.
Yep, that's right.
On the provincial team. So I thought maybe you, but I think she said that he was like 27, 28. So he might have been a bit younger than you. But I thought
a few years.
Anyways. And then the gentleman to my left, not like a huge hockey guy, doesn't really know too much about sports, but just really interested in high button sports. And he also helped us with the advice, instead of not taking an Uber in the city, take the up train. So that saved us some money.
Yep.
But just two great people to be stuck in that situation with. The worst people to be stuck in that situation with is like the people yelling and the people
which we'll
yelling.
Get to. Which we will get to. The guy yelling on the way home. But yeah.
Oh, at the flight home.
Who did I? I had no. I,
you
I
said
did,
you had great line
I
mates.
did have great line mates. I was playing the right wing. I was playing my off wing.
Yeah.
I had a lady from Toronto. I think she said she was from Detroit.
Okay.
Actually, and she was in town watching her niece play for Dal.
No way.
Hockey. So,
you told me this.
Yeah, so we automatically have a little bit of a connection. And I'll be honest with you, Belly, these people might have been the two easiest people on earth to make laugh.
Yeah.
No matter what I said was hilarious, right? So now I'm feeling it. You know how they tell you don't egg them on, that kind of thing. And then I had an awesome Indian gentleman beside me. I think his name was Barit.
Barit?
I think, if I remember correctly. He was awesome, man. He was joking around, and he's like, we learned how to count by three in India, like when we're born. He says, he's like, I don't see what the issue is here, but no, I had great line mates, and like you said, you could be with some complete gomers, and you really don't know.
Yeah.
Luckily you and I are pretty. I like to consider us pretty social people.
We're
I'm able
conversationalists.
to talk to pretty much anybody at any point, or not talk to somebody at the same time. But it was nice to have people that. Because you can feel the animosity, you can feel the tension building, buttholes clenching up, that kind of stuff. So it was nice to have some like-minded people, I'll say, as far as the humor things, and they weren't in any rush to go anywhere. So we were lucky in that regard.
Yeah. And then we landed, and then the flight, once we got up, great flight, other than the voucher thing. That kind of pissed me off, but whatever. Once I got the Johnny Walkers in me, everything was fine. Mm-hmm. But the flight was smooth, like no turbulence, landed, got to Toronto, got to the hotel quick.
Yeah.
And just started having a night, really. Got out, enjoyed the city. Did we see? No, we didn't see Brody and Ben the first night.
No, we did not. No.
What did we do the first night?
First night we got to the hotel. Remember?
The key didn't work.
So yeah,
so dudes used his Fairview Smarts.
Yeah, and you know what? This was a complete. At the time, I was laughing. Like this, there's no way this is going to work. I saw it on like a crime documentary or like something along those lines. But I just slid my card in on the latch, and it popped open, and all three of us were kind of like, oh shit, like this is good, but it's also bad.
So when he says slid his card, like usually hotels, if you've been in a hotel in the past 20th century, all you got to do is tap and then it opens, but it wasn't opening. So dudes just kind of wiggled his way through on the side.
Yeah, pushed the
latch in, and then it opened. And you got to think, as a business owner, right away you're going, all right, I'm bringing up thousands of dollars worth of equipment to Toronto, and anyone could get into this.
No problem.
No problem.
If I can get in, anybody can.
So there was that, which honestly didn't even really. At the time, you're thinking a little bit about it, and then once the day goes on, you go, no one knows we're staying here. No one's going to get in and rob us. No one's going to say, and no one did.
No.
They did say they were going to fix it. So the whole time we didn't have room keys.
No, we just did the trick.
We just did the trick every time. So every time they came up, they're like, so how do you guys get in? I go, oh, it just worked once, and then it didn't work anymore.
We leave a guy in there.
That's what we said. Yeah, we just left a guy in there, and he opened the door for us.
They didn't care.
So then that was a thing, and then eventually we just made our way down to where the ALLSTAR game was, and we made it just in time for like the ending. And then we did interviews, and we weren't watching the skills competition,
Nope.
so we didn't know what was happening. But the common trait of people walking out that they were pissed at Kucherov. So that was funny. I had no idea what they were talking about, but as soon as I went on Twitter, opened my phone, typed in Kucherov, I saw it. I think it's funny, but I also think that there's a kid in the stands who's a Kucherov fan.
Yeah.
Who saw that and is like, maybe I'm not a Kucherov fan. That's the part I don't like. But everything else was hilarious about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part. It's just the kids thing. And, like, the dad maybe saving up for some money to take his kid to this.
Right.
And, like, that's the product. That's the only thing that gets me a little.
And, like, the optics of it. Like
Yeah,
you
the
said,
optics,
like, the
yeah.
kids are like, oh, well, I'm not going to try because Kucherov does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I think that's a good point. But the parents, like, saved up all year to take his kid to see Kucherov. And let's be straight here. Kucherov's one of the best passers in the NHL.
Yeah, he couldn't
and
hit
he
those
couldn't
things.
hit those targets. Like, you and I can hit those targets,
Yeah.
Belly. Like, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying the showing that he put on was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
But the guys, and they clip to, like, the NHL guys, like all the other guys, and, like, some of them are laughing, and some of them are like, oh, shit. Because they're talking about finding him now.
Yeah.
So
we'll
rightfully
see.
so.
Yeah, just crazy. Just, I don't know. Just goes to show you.
Mm-hmm.
They got to fix. They're saying it might be in Milan next year, the All-Star game.
Milan?
Or maybe 2026.
Are you sure that's not the Olympics?
Yeah, but it's something like that. It's like they're going to have the All-Star game right before the Olympics, so the
Piggyback?
players are, like, already there or something.
Yeah, okay.
Because, like, the players apparently don't ever have fun at these All-Star games. But if it's in a city like Milan, and most of the players in the All-Star game are going to the Olympics anyways.
That's right.
So it kind of just makes sense. So I saw something like that. That might be cool. I don't know what's in Milan, but
Yeah,
I've
I
heard it
don't know
before, so
either,
it's got to be somewhat of a cool city.
I just think I've never heard hockey played in Milan, but I've also there's
That's
lots
kinda
of
why it
places
would be
where I
cool.
haven't heard.
Is that where the
hockey.
Olympics are?
I think I don't know if it is Spain maybe or something like that, but anyways,
I don't know.
that's a while away.
I don't know, but I just remember being a kid and loving the All-Star game. I don't know what's happened. Like, Al McGinnis taking a slap shot, I loved that, but I don't know why. Maybe
was
because I'm not a
different.
kid anymore.
Maybe, and you understand the inner workings too, right? And like we're at a point now where we love the game. We love, like when we went to the Leafs game, it was way better. We had a little fight. There was a bunch of hits. It was a game. There was
get the
elements.
guys from
there
behind
was
us were from New
breakouts.
York,
There was
yeah.
neutral zone regroups. There was, like it was just every little element of the game that you were looking for. But the All-Star game has changed, man. They used to do that rapid-fire shootout thing that people loved where you just skate up, grab a puck, turn around, try and score, and you got to do it in the fastest time. There's like 6 pucks lined up, and the goalies are more incorporated. But I think just because we were kids and the term All-Star is like a dream of yours when you're playing hockey or any sport at all. So to hear that connected to something is kind of probably what brings the love on for that. But I agree. I definitely liked it a lot more when I was a kid. But with that being said, this was an incredible experience and something that I'll never forget for sure.
Oh, my God. It was unbelievable.
You know,
So fortunate
not everybody
to be able
gets
to
to
get
go.
up and do it. No, not at all.
So-
Like, I don't know if I'd ever go back, but I'm happy I did it, I'll try anything once. I'm happy I went. It was awesome. It was a great time.
Toronto,
That's the thing, Toronto.
especially for me, like that's you get away
That's
with
home.
wearing your Leafs jersey all day. Like that's
It was so funny when we got off the train from the airport and you just get out into the subway and there's just Leafs fans. I don't even think there's Leafs fans going to the All-Star game. There's people just coming home from work wearing Leafs jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
They're wearing Leafs jerseys and I'm just like, dudes is at home. Dudes could say anything right now.
Disneyland.
Did you have your Leafs jersey on? No, you didn't.
No, I was saving it.
But you felt at home.
I had my Leafs hat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I
But
was
just walking
humming.
around, people coming home from the office having their Leafs
Go
jersey
Leafs,
on.
high fives, all that stuff. It was unreal.
I've never seen you so happy. And then
It
you
is
called
my
the rollerblade
Disneyland.
guy. You called it because we were walking down and you saw advertisements of rollerblades.
No, it was because we were walking and I was looking at the floor going, man, how much faster would this be if I could skate?
You didn't see the ads to your left of the rollerblade guy?
No, I
There
just
was-
said
in
how
the
sick would it
video.
be?
I'll show you. There's
Really?
ads of like rollerblades, like not rollerblades, but like the 4-wheel
Yeah, the skates,
rollerblades.
Yeah,
And then you just go, oh, there's a sick floor for rollerblades. And then the next thing you know, there's a guy.
coming down a roller.
Yeah, it was just like, I thought you saw him.
No, I didn't. I manifested it. That's what I did.
Yeah. I've heard of that word.
It's manifesting is the thing, but I don't think I did that
And
in
then-
that scenario.
And then as soon as we walked outside into the city and breathed that fresh air, kinda, game on.
The air coming out of the vents in the sewers.
Game on. You're just like, okay, content, Toronto, city, hotel.
Easy content.
What?
Easy content.
Oh, my God.
It's right there. Everything.
So it's a great city. It's a great hockey city.
Yeah.
It's a great hockey town. All they care, like, no offense to the Raptors or anything. I know it was All-Star Week, but I didn't see one Raptors, like, billboard.
No.
I didn't see one Raptors, like, advertisement. I didn't see anything like Toronto FC. I just saw Leafs. I
Yep.
know it's All-Star Weekend, so maybe I could be wrong. Like, maybe if you're a full-timer living in Toronto.
Yeah.
There could be other advertisements, but I didn't see anything other than Leafs, Leafs, Leafs.
And you got to think that's what our nucleus was too, right? Like we're in the thick of the All-Star, so everything we're looking for is All-Star, right? So easily Raptors could have slipped, especially for me. I'm not a basketball fan necessarily. I like sports. Like, and I watch the Raptors when they won, but for the most part, I'm not going, oh, sick Raptors poster or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So could have easily got slid under the rug for us
Yeah.
just because we were blindfolded by the experience.
Yeah.
But
being able to interview people too would caught me off guard. I thought everyone would be a little bit more like, not like smirky, but like just
Stuck up.
little like, I don't want to talk to anyone right now. Stuck up, but completely wrong.
Especially in the financial district.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone was just, well, I guess everyone had a couple little loosey pops there, so they came right out and started talking to me.
Yep.
That was great. So you definitely, you're in a different city, not nerves, but you're just like, all right, is this going to go as well as it goes in Halifax? I don't know. We'll see. But no, went as well as planned. Everything was great. And then the content was perfect. I don't really have any complaints about the first day other than the flight and flair and the.
But that's minimal stuff for us. And at the same time, we talked about this, and we were like, this is going to make a great podcast topic.
That's what I.
sorry.
Oh,
Here we go.
Oh, just got a good text.
Did you?
Yep.
Did I? No.
No. It's
No
from,
text for me, Brendan. Bullshit. How come you didn't text me?
A
I don't know where
weekend
my
just
phone
got
is.
confirmed.
What an answer.
That's good.
Let's go. All right, sweet.
Figure that out later.
Business never stops.
Business never sleeps.
But, man, it's nice when people reach out like that, because at the beginning of this, we had to reach out. We still do.
Yeah.
We find out about something, and we're like, hey, you want a lifetime experience and memories?
What are we talking about?
The text.
Oh, the
there.
text.
But
Yeah,
let's go back to the
yeah.
All-Star game.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Yeah. In the All-Star game, obviously, the intros and stuff, Loud Luxury was there. I thought that was hype. They had the bracelets that lit up, and they were to the beat of the songs. Yeah. I thought that was really cool because you see that shit on TV.
Yeah.
And for you and I know Jeff. Jeff's a huge hockey guy, hockey nerd. But when you're in the rink, I didn't have my phone out, man, for a lot of this. There's so many times where people tell stories about not being in the moment and not, like, fully taking it on and feeling it. But, man, when you're in there and you're a hockey fan like we are, you feel electrified inside, but you just feel at home.
You feel home.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're loosey-goosey. Now, I had a few vodka sodas, so at that point you're feeling pretty good. But everyone around us is buddy-buddy. That lady thought you were Prince Harry. And they just did a great show, man. It was Toronto. They had the band
light show
on, and and Nate and Sid come out, and we're just, standing.
They got a standing O from us.
Oh, absolutely, they did. And Jeff loves the Oilers. He got to see McDavid and Draisaitl. I'm a huge Leafs fan. I got to see 4 of them. I'm not going to go into them. And you, I know nobody knows what fan you are, but you're a hockey fan.
I was there.
All the best players in the world, man. Like, it's hard to. I can't think of one negative thing about the All-Star experience itself.
I love the fact, it might sound potential, but I don't care. I love that we got recognized in Toronto twice.
Absolutely.
Loved it. Once at the game, once at the Eaton Center. I
Couple
love that. Like,
kids that we streamed.
Yeah, I love that. I love just, you go to these cities and you kind of go, oh, no one's going to know me. I'm good. Like, I'm set. No. High button, how are you? Like, it made me so happy. It was just kind of a little cherry on the top there for the trip. Just not that it, like, means the world to me, but it's just nice to know. We work hard on this thing called High Button Sports. Yeah. So to have a little recognition and for someone to ask for a photo with us in Toronto, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it means the world to me, and I know it does to you and to Jeff,
Scotiabank Arena.
Scotiabank Arena, where the Leafs play.
That's what I mean. Down in the mezzanine. And, like, here's the thing. What are the odds that we even cross paths with those people? There's 4 or 5 floors in this place. There are 20,000 people in there, and they happen to notice us. And we weren't wearing High Button stuff, Belly. We weren't because we were out and about, right?
Yeah,
we were wearing the Leafs jerseys. We were hockey fans, and I think I remember the names of the kids even, but we did stream them. I think it was
shout out to them. I forget. I don't know their names. Oh, you know their names?
Xander Boutlier and man, that pisses me off because I've had this.
Well, if you remember
it
through the podcast, just like yell it. Even
Simon Mullen.
There you go.
There you go. And it was one of their mums, and she actually recognized us and screamed out, "There's the High Button guys!" And they immediately stopped, turned around, and people can think we're bullshitting, but this is how it went. And the 2 kids, and she was like, let's get a picture with the boys. And anyways, I ended up just saying, hey, what's your name, blah, blah, blah. And me being one of the commentators, and I know Brendan can attest to this as well.
Attaboy, Brendan.
You remember names, right? You say names for a long time, and I know I have a different skill set where I remember immediately anyways. So when I said, oh, yeah, I remember who you got, and I mentioned who they played for, and I think that kind of went a long way for them, is just the name-to-name basis, and I could kind of see a smile out of the mom. Now, at that point, I'll be honest, I probably had, 3 or 4 creep sodas, vodka soda. So everything you remember isn't exactly how it went, but it was very close to that, and it was a very cool feeling.
And another cool feeling, speaking of vodka sodas, I myself had a couple. And I'm a wanderer. I'm not gonna lie to people right now that are listening or watching. Where's my camera? Right there. I'm a wanderer. Sometimes when I love dudes, I love Jeff, I love the company, but when I'm in a new environment, sometimes I need to take it in for myself. Just walk around, take a look, and just take it in for myself without I guess being led in different directions. So one time I just went to go use the washroom, and there was a huge lineup. So I said, great, perfect opportunity to find another washroom. There's an elevator there.
Yeah, right there too.
Right there. No security, nothing. I get on the elevator. Oh, maybe there's a washroom on the top floor. Maybe whatever. I'm a big Jesus take the wheel guy. Let life take me wherever I need to go to figure it out. So I get on the elevator. I don't even click a button, let someone else pick a button for me. I'm going for a ride. There's 4 or 5 people in the elevator. I'm the 6th. Get out at the 5th, 6th floor. Couldn't tell you what floor. All of a sudden, we're in kind of a suite area. No one's checking my tickets. I don't have a credential. I'm not, There's 3, 4 people that walk right. 3, 4 people, whatever what did I say, right? A couple people walk right, couple people walk left. I just happened to go left. In left, little do you know, there's a suite. Free drinks, free food, CEOs of big companies, bunch of suits, NHL alumni, you name it, they're there. One security guard working the door. All of a sudden, the security guard's kind of checking credentials, checking tickets. I see it, but I don't think too much of it, so I just kind of keep going. Am I a bad guy for this? I don't think so. No one told me I couldn't go.
No one told you could.
No one told me I could, so I'm just going to keep walking. Next thing you know, I'm in there with everyone. I look to my right, I see Zdeno Chara. I look to my left, I see Ken Reed. I look straight ahead, I see Colby Armstrong. I'm dropping names big time. What are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Biggest issue, I didn't have anyone to talk to. You're in there, you got to look comfortable. You got to look like you belong. So I had no one to have a conversation with. So obviously I go in, I grab a free burger. I still have a drink, so I don't go to the bar, and I go right up to the bar, not the bar, like the table by the bar. Mm-hmm. I just start talking to a couple random people. How are you? Networking. Oh, you're the CEO of Scotiabank? Nice to meet you. I'm Justin, High Button Sports. Not actually the CEO of Scotiabank,
right,
but like something like that.
Yeah.
And you just kind of network. You look natural. Here's where I messed up. As soon as I finished my drink, I went back to the bar, and I didn't even think. I don't go, the drinks here are free, because when I went down to actually pay for a drink, it was like $32 for a double vodka soda. So I'm like, there's no way they're giving out free drinks here right now. Like,
I'm getting duped.
Yeah, I'm getting. So here's where I messed up. I go up to the bar. I go, hey, how you doing? I'd like a double vodka soda, please. And the bartender goes, yes, sir, absolutely. And as he goes to hand me the drink, I go to take out my credit card to pay. And as I'm taking my credit card out, there's a security guard kind of to the right of me. And I feel his eyeballs, because if you're in that suite, obviously the drinks are free. You're not pulling your credit card out.
No.
So that was my tell. So that's what gave me away. But the security guard didn't, like you guys, dudes, you're going to tell your version of the story here in a minute. Dudes got the tap. Myself, I didn't get the tap. I just felt the eyeballs as soon as I turned around from the bar. And when I know I'm supposed to leave, I know I'm supposed to leave. So I had that sense. I just kind of tucked away in a corner, finished my free drink, and left. But with that being said, had not a nice little chat with Chara, but just, hey, Chara, how are you? Can I get a picture with you? Big fan. Marshy's from where I'm from. He's basically going, whatever, get out of my face. But, hey, it is what it is. Got a picture with Chara. Saw Kenny Reed. I know Kenny. We've tried to get him on the podcast a couple times.
Pictou County.
He's busy. Pictou County, which we are right now,
That's
which is crazy.
Yeah.
He's busy. We're busy. One of these days we're going to lock it down, Kenny. We will. Shook his hand. Colby Armstrong was there. Man, it was one of those moments where you're just thankful for. Got a couple free burgers at the Air Canada Center, a free drink where I went to pay for it, where I messed up. But just one of those experiences I'll never forget, and just took my loss with the free drink thing.
That's not a
and
loss.
walked away. I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, at the
I
moment.
could have been in there longer, but you know what I mean. Everyone knows when you feel the eyeballs.
But
feel the eyeballs.
It's your social recognition.
Yes.
You're like, okay, this is. I'm on thin ice here already, right?
Why? What did you do?
No, that's what you're thinking. when you're in there. You're like, if I slip up at all, I'm out of here.
I know how to push my luck, but I also know when to walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'd be a great poker
Which is why
player.
neither one of us got booted.
Yeah, okay, we'll tell your version of
Right.
the story. Because Dudes texted me, he said, "Where are you?" And I said, "Washroom with Chara. Let me enjoy this. Talk later," or something
Yeah.
like that.
So originally what happened was we went together.
Yes.
But I don't know what happened to me. I just ended up sticking behind. And all of a sudden I turned around and you were gone. And I remembered you saying, I'm going to go downstairs and try and find a bathroom. So I went down in the elevator. Same thing. And when I was like,
But we weren't on the elevator at the same time.
No, we weren't.
Okay,
I went
yeah.
down probably 10 minutes after you
Yeah.
because you were already settled in there.
Yeah.
And then I texted you, and I never got a text back, which is fine. But when I got down there, being a guy from Fairview, a lot of this stuff is new for me, the Fairmont, all that stuff. It was just a little bit overwhelming. It's like red carpet type stuff and suits all around, and I'm in an Austin Matthews jersey, I had my collar coat on, so at least I had a collar.
You had a collar.
Brand new coat that I bought for the big city.
Stay humble, stay humble.
But anyways, I go down, and I call Belly. You answered, and you were like, and I'll be honest with you, man, I thought you were bullshitting me. I really did. Not that you've ever bullshitted me, but at the
What
time,
did I say?
you were saying you were with Chara, and you were like, I'm with Chara. There's a bunch of bigwigs here. I'm already in. Just let me take the moment. I was like, absolutely no problem. So now my brain goes, how am I going to get in there? So I'm sitting there going, I just try to walk through like I'm the man. How you doing, ladies? Blah, blah, blah. It's two ladies now working the gate, and there's nobody. It's
You
just
had two ladies. Okay,
at
I had
the
one
door.
older gentleman. Okay.
And I think this older gentleman's the guy that ended up catching me. But so I walk through, and she's like, do you have your pass? And I was like, I'm just heading to get it. Like, quick answer, super confident. You know me, bullshitting. And she's like, oh, well, you have to wait out here and maybe get him to bring you. I said, no problem. Perfect. I'll go game plan. So I stood out front. I put my phone brightness all the way down on low, pretended to be on the phone. I'm laughing, having a good time. Yeah, no worries, man. Take your time. I'm out here. I'm just to the right, blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, I'm watching. I'm processing the people going in and out, okay? And I'm going, not everybody has a lanyard. Not everybody's showing a pass. Some people have, some people haven't. So I'm going, I can refer to my old friend Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. And you call it Ricky and people. You're not disrespectful. You just pretend like you're there. You say you know somebody. Oh, you know Jim. Jim knows you. Oh, Jim from head office. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I wait a couple minutes. I'm on the phone. Yeah, no worries. Pretending to text, walking around. Kind of being sketchy, right? Because I'm just floating. Finally, I see like 15 people come off the elevator. And I'm like,
there it is.
This is my opportunity. That's it. And I have no malicious intent. I just want to get in and see if you're telling me the truth. It's really, and you said free drinks, so now I'm like, my brain's going free anything, and I'm in. It could have been Pop-Tarts. And so I get through. I tuck in the crowd. I pretend to be on the phone. So that way if someone says something to you, be like, I didn't hear you, my bad. Tuck into the crowd. I go left, like you said, where you were. I went right to the bar immediately because I knew it was free drinks. Grabbed a vodka soda. So now I'm double fisting walking through here.
No one's double fisted in there.
No one's double fisted. One's got a briefcase and a drink, And I'm wearing a Leafs jersey, a Matthews Leafs jersey.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm walking through and I'm tucking into crowds. I know that my time is limited here. I'm just trying to find you.
Yeah.
And I really want to meet Chara. So I want to see what a view was like at his kneecaps. I get through. I'm buzzing. I got the drink. I'm just about to the food station where you got the sliders. I'm like, okay, everything he said to me so far has been true. Okay? So I come in, and all of a sudden I get the tap. And it's not like a grab tap. It was just like a quick tap. And I just turned around, and before he could say anything, I go, you got me. And he laughed. He was like, ha. He's like, what are you doing, brother? And I was like, honestly, I was looking for my buddy. Turns out he's not here. But I said everything looked pretty fancy down here, so I figured why not, And
Honesty's
I think
great.
the honesty, he laughed. He was like, no worries, man. He's like, obviously I'm just going to have to ask you to leave, though. And I said, oh, not the building. And he goes, no, man. He goes, wherever your seats are. So I'm like, okay, fuck this. I'm like, whatever. I'm all horned up. Like, I can't wait to get back and tell Jeff or whoever that I got the boot from the VIP zone. But anyways, you come back up with a picture with Chara and all this, and you and I are like, we're amped, right? My heart rate's through the roof as soon as you get tapped. Even when you get in, you're
Vodka
going,
does that. It gets your
and you're confident too,
Yeah.
right? Like if I smoked before or something like that before we went in, I would have been super sketchy. I would have never even attempted it. But it's a cool story to tell. You got the boot, and we got to stay in the rink and enjoy the rest of the experience. So it ended up setting up the rest of the night for sure.
Oh my God, we were just on a high. It was a great time.
Yeah, the guy was such a beauty.
There was no
if he ever
regrets
listens
about
to
it.
this, he was just a shorter guy. He had the cul-de-sac haircut.
Yeah, that's the guy who I went behind.
Yeah,
that's who it was. The cul-de-sac.
He was on to us.
Yeah,
And then I forgot. I asked him.
That wasn't the guy who I saw. The guy who I saw was a bit bigger, had a full head of hair.
Okay.
He was a bit thicker. That wasn't the guy who I saw to my right when I pulled my credit card out, but he was eyeing me, and I just set him out.
I forgot to tell you this part of the story too. I asked him. I said, "How did you know that I wasn't supposed to be here, and he stopped me, and he like used my shoulders, and he just spun me around a couple times. And he goes, "You see any other hockey jerseys?" And I went, "Fuck's sakes!"
Yeah.
Like, no,
Business
I
in
don't.
there.
I said, "What about my collar jacket?" And he just laughed. And then he's just like, "You got to go, man." And I was like, "All right."
That's
whatever."
amazing.
Oh man, it was just
What about
that
the
alone was
collar
worth it.
jacket? It's true, because when you're in there, it suits, you're collared up, and
We stuck out like sore thumbs already, man.
yeah,
Like,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I had the All-Star hat on. No one in there had an All-Star hat on. Everyone was just $1 million deals going
we
down.
did it.
But there was a couple bigwigs. It was great. We did it. We had fun.
Mhm.
I don't regret a minute of it.
God no.
And that night was great because we saw Brody and Ben.
At the night of the All-Star game.
Yeah, didn't we? Yeah, because the first night when we got
Yeah,
there,
they
we
said
said
we only
come
got
out.
one night in us.
Because they said to us, they go, look, we'll come out, but pick your night. The first night wasn't that big of a night. Second night was. And I think we made the right call with them coming out the second night. And then we made plans because we knew the nor'easter was coming.
Yep.
And if you don't know our friends, bro, how much time are we at right now? Sorry, Brian.
49
We're
minutes.
at 40-24.
40-24.
40-24.
That's only 40 minutes.
That's not bad at all. We, our friends Brody and Ben, they are coaches up in North, just Toronto, but their
North
team's
Toronto
called
Hockey
North
Club.
Toronto
Hockey. Club.
Hockey. What's is it?
NTHC. Yeah.
NTHC.
Mhm.
And we just said, well, if our plane doesn't get out, we're going to come and just watch the game. Because Brody and Ben, they live in Toronto, and every time I see them, they're always talking about their team. And, how, you know, they talk about the players they like, the players, well, you know, what it is,
Bad
what it is.
habits.
Yeah, bad habit, exactly. So as soon as I found out that it was 7 a.m., and I got the alert on my phone, and it goes, yeah, Porter Airlines 205 is canceled. You're not getting out today. And dudes is, I don't know if you're awake or if you're asleep, but you said you heard me.
I went to piss and came in, and that's the first thing you said to me.
So then I go, okay, hey, dudes, our flight's canceled. And you didn't react. You went, oh, okay. And then the first thing I said, I go, this is great, though. So now we can go see Brody and Ben coach. And then you just went right back to bed. And then you woke up, and that's the first thing you said you remembered. Because honestly, like, I wanted to go see them. I wanted to get out of the city, the concrete jungle in the city.
Yeah.
48 hours, I got to get out. I need to just get out. I can't eat Chipotle 4 days in a row. I got to see something else. I got to move.
Yeah, you especially.
I got to see a tree. And as soon as we got out of the city and we got to go to, what was the name of the rink?
Ted Reeves Arena.
As soon as we got to the Ted Reeves Arena, it was an older barn, kind of like the one we went to today,
Yeah,
which
Hector.
was the Hector. And we got to see two of our buddies coach, and we got a couple highlights for them. And it was
Get a
just
video.
it was a nice little break from the city to get out and go see them.
And my favorite part about that whole day was we got to the rink, and it's funny because they picked us up downtown,
Yeah.
and we had like a little run through traffic to get in the car. Anyways, we get there, and we're like, hey, let's. We're all hanging out up top at the Ted Reeves Arena, which is in the beaches in Toronto. Great barn. They were like, oh, it's kind of shitty. I'm like, this is a great barn.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get there. Aren't all 5 of us wearing our high button 3/4? One of the weirdest coincidences ever.
We got a
Now-
photo of it.
Exactly, right? So that's when you go, whew,
Yeah.
photo now.
Yeah.
Proof, but there was no communication of it. Obviously, you and I and Jeff, for the most part, when we try and go somewhere, we'll wear something, just in case. And for
a big
a
quarter zip
situation
guy.
like this, right? And
Wear
those
one
are
now.
super nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a really cool part. But, yeah, man, this was a really good game.
Just different. I love doing different things. When I talk
Yeah.
about me being a wanderer,
Yeah.
I like going away from doing something else different. I'll never be back in the Ted Reeves Arena. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I just like going to do different things that,
You are a wanderer.
I love
Every now
wandering.
and then, Belly would just disappear for like an hour, and he'd come back and be like, the new hotel's booked. And you're like, okay, that's where he was, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
I just like to leave. You gotta
yeah.
see new things. You gotta talk to new people. You gotta.
I do remember you telling me the flight was canceled, but, man, I don't drink very often, and you don't either. So our hangovers hit hard now. I was so hungover on Sunday when you said that. I wouldn't have cared at that point if we flew out 3 weeks from then.
Yeah.
Just let me go back to sleep. But
Yeah.
then once you wake up and you get back to it, and I do remember the walk to the hotel because you had to go get another one because we were
Yeah.
stuck. And I remember walking, and I remember we had a bag of sweet chili heat Lays that were open all night. And I was so hungover I didn't care. I took them with me, and I could hear my bag crunching down the streets of Toronto like a true sore loser. Just every step we took. And then we ended up getting the new hotel, and the rest was history. But easily the nicest hotel I've ever been in.
The fair, yeah.
You know?
Stuck out like sore thumbs there.
Did we ever?
The Fairmount. I'll say it. I'm not ashamed of it.
Fairmont.
Fairmont?
Which is why
See,
the
that
lady
tells you
chirped
that
ya.
tells you we weren't supposed to be in there.
She goes, you're going to stay at the Fairmont, but fly flare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty ridiculous.
But I have a theory. If I'm going to be miserable, I'm going to be comfortable.
Yeah, man.
I'll
And what a treatment.
I'll spend the money on comfort if I'm in a state of misery. Life is a balance.
Yeah.
If you're miserable, you might as well be comfortable.
And you know what, Belly? We've worked hard. Some people may still think this company's a joke. I don't really care. But we've worked hard to be able to put ourselves in a position where we could stay there.
Yes.
We're not millionaires.
No.
Everybody knows that.
No.
You know what I mean? But I'm not picking up cigarette butts off the ground like I used to.
No.
You know, like it's you work hard, and every now and then I liked your theory because I was like, you know me, I'm a cheap bastard, so I'm like, hey,
Cheap
let's go
man
stay
pays
at
twice.
the Comfort Inn at the airport. And you're like, I want to be comfy, dudes, and
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I'll put up here's my 2 cents. That's it. But man, robes, slippers,
Sauna, steam room,
Steam
hot
room,
tub, pool,
like, come
complimentary water, fruit.
right? So yeah, and every time you walk down the hall, how you doing, sir?
Yeah.
The workers, how are you? Hope you're
I've never
enjoying your
met
stay.
someone so happy to clean a room.
No.
Slipper. Are you all right, Brendan?
Huh?
You're good? Okay.
I'm good.
I
That's
love
good.
how he goes to 3.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, man.
But just
yeah.
a great hotel.
Yep.
And that it kind of makes me so like when I was booking the hotel for Sean for Moncton, I was like, man, these hotels are cheap here. Because you're like you pay that up there in Toronto, and now you're booking hotels back in Nova Scotia. You're like,
Yeah, get him
no,
2 rooms.
Yeah, get him 2
Can
rooms.
I get the joined one, please?
Yeah, so it makes you.
Appreciate
But
it.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but worth the money. I think it was worth the money. Like I'm not going to say the exact amount, but I did not have a problem paying that amount to stay at the Fairmont.
Yep.
Fairmont.
Yeah.
With what everything it came with. 1, the sauna, sweated everything out.
Yeah, which
2,
we
it was right next to the train station, so we got to Pearson, like, boom, right across the street.
Yep.
Right, it was also right next to everything.
Timmy's, specifically.
Timmy's.
Yep.
And it was a great room. The beds were awesome. It actually had cable, like high definition. And I know you're thinking, oh, that's not a big deal, but it is compared to the first hotel we stayed in.
Yeah.
We had no channels.
Didn't even have a key.
We didn't even have a view. Anyways.
And we made the fridge in the window.
Yeah, dudes made a fridge in the room.
Wanted
We might have
Gorilla
footage of
tape.
that.
The fact that you had Gorilla Tape was ridiculous to me, but
Gorilla tape you need Gorilla tape in
it's a
this
necessity
business.
at this point.
This
Yeah.
podcast would not be brought to you. This podcast would not be going if it wasn't for Gorilla Tape. I'll give them a free ad.
we need
But
a
if Gorilla Tape
sponsorship.
wants to sponsor us, we sponsor you. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's
know?
for sure. Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do we want to get to the
Flight home.
the flight home?
Yeah.
Now that we're pushing 50, 60 minutes
I
here?
don't. It's gonna make me upset. I'm trying to end this on a good. Like I'm gonna be upset, but we'll tell it.
I'll interject as we go if you want to tell it.
Okay. So,
Flight canceled.
well, here's the thing: flight's canceled, but not just for us. For everyone on this flight, you got to think
Actually,
everyone's
yeah.
been stuck for 2 days. So before
Leads us to the Eaton Center.
what's that?
The Eaton Center. which is
So
how it
yeah,
all
okay, we'll start
started.
at the Eaton Center. Well, I'll let you tell that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, flight canceled.
Yeah.
We're not, I wouldn't say we're down. Obviously, you want to get home, especially with us having significant others at home having to deal with all this. Thank God for my neighbors. I'll say that if they're listening, and my friends, because they helped out at home. But anyway, so we're like, all right, let's go. We got shit to do. We can't sit in the hotel all day, especially you. Let's go move around. So we're like, hey, let's go to the Eaton Center. We'll get lunch, maybe check out Under Armour or whatever. So we're sitting there. We're eating lunch. I'm having Subway. I don't know what you guys had. You had Thai
It was
food.
like
Jeff
Asian noodles,
had
like
something he didn't even know what it was.
Like a faux bowl.
Anyways, we're sitting there and, we're just kind of like, well, whatever. Trying to figure out when our flight is, blah, 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 which we thought it was Monday, according to the Porter app. All of a sudden, this lady and a gentleman walk up to us, don't say hi or anything. They just go, oh, you guys are stranded too. Once again, not wearing any high button gear. And we're going like, who are you? Anyways, guy introduces himself. They were great later in the story. Part of the Bridgewater organization in Junior B.
Brett.
Is
Brett
Brett?
was his name. I forget his wife's name.
The last name Fletcher, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think it was Kaylee or Haley.
Yeah.
So much happened, it was hard to keep up with the names. Anyways, they recognized us. Turns out the lady was a travel agent. Okay, so she's going, we didn't get out till Tuesday, so now we're going ding ding, shit. That means we're not getting out till Tuesday. So she ended up taking your phone and checking us all in and doing all that for us. And we found out, okay, Tuesday's when we fly out. So now, what do we have to do? We have to book another night because we thought we were leaving Monday. This all to say, we ended up leaving the Eaton Center, getting another night, and then the Leafs play the next night, which the family was going to as well, or that couple were going to as well. That was great. Leafs lost. I knew they were going to. Polestar, All-Star, Islanders, which you saw like a week before that, which is ridiculous. Super fan. Island, big Patty Waugh guy.
Love Patty Waugh.
But anyway, so then that brings us kind of to Tuesday. So shout out to those two that they are honestly
Our new parents.
I never want to travel
They
again
adopted
without
us.
them. Yeah.
We'd still be at the Eaton Center food court if we didn't meet them.
Right, because then she ended up switching our flight 3 or 4 times after the delay, which we'll get to now.
And Porter never even sent me like a notification on she was like, yeah, Porter should have sent you a notification on when your new flight was. I never got anything from Porter.
No.
Anyways, I'll
But I will say the Porter experience is much better than the Flair.
Yeah, sure. Just the notification would have been nice. That's all I'm saying.
Especially midday.
So, anyways, Tuesday rolls around. Boom. We already know our way around the city. We're basically vets. We know everything about everyone and how to get to the airport. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we get to the airport, no problem. Beautiful day. Sun is out, shining, smiling. You get to the airport, energy's high because the people that are on our flight are just like us. They're stuck, but they're ready to go. So, there's no issues. Like we're on the flight, no delays, nothing. We're on there. We're early. Everyone wants to go. Everything's great. I sit down, buddy next to me, he's going back to school at Dow. Good guy. How are you? 30 seconds before takeoff.
When the engine goes,
you just feel it.
When you're ready.
The pilot had his hand on the gear.
The throttle.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I had my headphones in. And whenever a woman goes, ah! That yell,
Yelp.
You yelp, you know something is wrong. And it was a back-to-back yelp. It was, yeah. And then it was another, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was stop the plane. It was headphone out, then it was stop the plane. And then when you hear stop the plane, I'm turning my head.
I thought it was like a threat.
I did too. I was just like,
or something.
I was like, look, I was getting ready. I was prepared for anything.
So can I interject for 1 second?
Go
Once
ahead.
again, Belly, the lady, I'm here, Jeff's beside me. We're playing Mario Kart on Nintendo Switch. She is the seat behind us.
Right behind us.
And then the other thing that happened was right behind you. So now, we're in the area, so my immediate fear kicks in, who am I protecting?
Yeah.
Not that I'm tough, but you just think like that, right? So then,
a gentleman, what do I say? Heart attack, stroke. We don't same thing. Seizure.
Out. Yeah.
He passed out. He was drooling, his eyes shut. It looked like for a second he was just taking a nap, but he was out. So luckily, this gentleman had a nurse. The woman who screamed was a nurse. So all of a sudden, the stewardess get up and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, is anybody on board a doctor? This one lady goes, well, I'm a nurse, so I'm going to just do what I got to do. But the stewardess was like, I need to see your credentials, which I don't.
All the other nurses, because 4 or 5 of them come.
I know, but what a
running.
time to ask for credentials. The guy's has no
You're
pulse.
just going to have to trust me.
You're going to have to trust me here. So the lady and another gentleman who was able to pick him up put him on the floor, right in the aisle. So now, literally, dudes, I and myself and Jeff are watching this woman give CPR to a man that
could potentially be dead.
Who could potentially be dead. Because for at least a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, she was yelling to the entire plane, no pulse, no pulse,
Medical
no
emergency.
pulse, no pulse.
Yeah.
So now everyone is panicked. And also everyone just wants to go home. So you have to think of the state of this plane. Just an absolute – it didn't feel real.
Yeah.
It felt like a video game.
Yeah, or a movie.
You're just like, wait a second. I'm 20 seconds from taking off into the sky to go home, and now a guy behind me's having a heart attack. But never was I pissed off, or you were like, oh, my God, I hope he lives. You're not sitting there pissed off. You're there, oh, my God, please come back to life. I can't just please live. 2 minutes, CPR, chest, mouth to mouth, chest, mouth to mouth. And then all of a sudden you hear the lady go, oh, there you go. And so then you're just like, oh my God. And then I won't lie, I didn't look that often.
No, me either. I tried to be
I
private.
peeked. I was too, how
Privacy.
Sure, but also memories. I don't want to see a guy die to my right.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as I looked every now and then, I won't lie, I saw drool, and he was pale, and his eyes were at the back of his head.
And he was an older fella.
He was, he's older 80s, young. I'm not good with that age thing, but he was up there.
Yep.
And then as soon as I heard the lady go, oh, there you go, sir. Then I looked, and then you saw his eyes come back, and then you didn't see him speak right away, but the nurse was like, so do you know where you are? Do you know what just happened? What's your name? Is your wife on board? Because then all of a sudden, the women at the front of the plane started coming back because they thought it was their husband that had passed out or had a heart attack.
I'll never forget the one lady, man.
So all the ladies at the front were rushing to the back where we were, and all the stewardess were like, whoa, he's okay. And all the women were, he was by himself. He had no one with him,
No.
which was awful. And you just have to imagine essentially being in that position, almost dying, and as this guy's like coming back to conscious, he's like apologizing to everyone, and it's like, dude, don't apologize. You just almost died. Like, you're a vet, you're a warrior. Like, just relax, get off the plane, check yourself, you're fine. We don't care that we're gonna have to deboard.
Yeah, who
I
cares?
kind of jumped
Which
ahead.
we didn't know at that
I kind of
point.
jumped ahead there on that, but
Yeah.
so eventually the pilot jumps on and says, excuse me, everyone, obviously something significant just happened. We have to go back to the airport, so the ambulance can get a hold of them. So that takes 20 minutes, and eventually we're there. And I guess when these things happen, paperwork has to be filled out.
Yeah, it does.
So we're sitting on the plane for 30, 45 minutes.
Went back to the gate.
Went back to the gate. We're
Yeah.
sitting there. We're like, okay, whatever. We'll wait an hour, then we're out of here. And that just wasn't the case. So apparently this paperwork was going to take forever. So we have to get off. We get off, and we hear from the airline, yeah, you guys are going to be taking off in about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And like I say, no one's pissed off.
There was one lady.
Sure, one lady and a guy
Yeah.
were like,
Idiots.
yeah.
Anyways.
That's not. I can't even
Yeah.
talk about that because it's so infuriating that person is even
Exactly.
considered.
Yeah. After what just happened.
You know, I can't even. That's not even a thing to me.
Yeah.
It's just irrelevant. I see. This is what I'm talking about. I might get upset. But anyways, there's two people that were upset, and just I'm not even going to give them the light of day. Just despicable humans.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, flight's delayed by 2 hours. It sucks. We're there. They're going to reboard us until the flight crew says they are unfit to fly.
Just started, too.
Just started. So apparently flight attendants are like truck drivers. After so many hours, you got to shut her down.
Yep.
This wasn't the case for the flight attendants. They've just started their first shift of the day. They were saying they were too rattled, essentially, to serve us and fly because some guy almost died. Which, to be like, they did nothing.
No.
If anything, they overreacted and panicked, and the lady who's the hero, the nurse sitting there, saved the day.
They brought the oxygen tank.
They brought
Who
the
else can get
oxygen
that?
tank, and they filled out some paperwork, but they didn't
It's a free day off.
suck it up.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're all sitting there in the what do you call it, the gate.
Yep.
And we're all alive, and we know what a walk of shame looks like. We've all done it. This was the biggest walk of shame I've ever seen in my entire life. The whole flight crew and the pilots, head down, roller cases, walk by everyone that's sitting at the gate trying to go home, and they bailed on us. They let us out to dry.
Yep.
So now we know we're in for one. Luckily, Brett and his wife, forget her name, I apologize, she goes up to the front of the desk and goes, look, me and my 3 kids, meaning me, you, and Jeff, need to be home like now. So she arranges us to get on another flight, God bless her.
Yep.
Then that flight ends up being delayed. So now we get rearranged back onto the original flight that we were supposed to be on. By the time all this is happening, 3 hours goes by? Three
I
and
would
a
say
half?
at least that, yeah, because we switched gates a couple times, too, and like
Switch gates.
she knew that there was only 2 more flights going out, 350 and 755 for some reason I remember. So she's like, I got us 5 seats on the 350 plane. So we went down to that gate, which we ended up meeting Jamie Kelly, a good buddy of mine's mom. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Shout out to Jamie Kelly.
So then the lady that she was talking to originally comes down to her, and she's like, hey, were you the lady that rebooked the people from Flight 205? And she said, yeah, and we're all sitting there going, fuck, shit, here we go. Anyway, she takes her down, and everybody knows. We've all been to the office. You get taken down by who you're talking to, and you're thinking, it's over. Yeah. I thought
we're
at the
moving
time,
to Toronto.
You and me and Jeff were going to be stuck. Her and her husband were going to go, which at that point was whatever. She tells us now that 350 flight's going to be pushed because we got to get the 205 flight out. So we've already switched our boarding passes and gates.
We're committed to
this
the
is
other
not a
flight.
complaint. This is a story. So now we're like, okay, we got to go back down the other way. And I did feel a little bit awkward. I'm not going to lie, going back because everybody knows we've got another flight. So we pissed off, right? And now we're coming back to the peasants, right?
Yeah.
So we ended up getting on that flight, and all the other ones got delayed. So it was
we got the one flight out.
We did,
luckily.
So we did get
even though we risked it, tried to get out early. We eventually got back on the correct flight, the original flight, and we got out. And that flight, other than the gentleman almost dying, was perfect. And as you know, this is the part also that pisses me off. We're taking off, and the flight attendants are doing their safety check. If that one guy yells.
He goes.
He interrupts the ladies doing the thing and yells what?
He yells, "Nobody die on this flight," which is okay. And here's the other thing: when I talk about things happening around us, the guy that passed out in the seat, the nurse was beside him. There was another nurse in front of him, so they were friends. I'm in the seat now on this flight that he passed out in. So I actually said to her, I was like, listen, before we even take off, I'm going to be sleeping. I know it's been a crazy day, but I'll be back. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. She didn't laugh or anything. She was like, acknowledge, awesome. And right before we fly, like you said, the guy interrupts. And this guy, we seen him earlier, and it was
He was also dropping nukes, farts, the whole flight. That's my theory.
Yeah. Anyways, you were behind him. I was in front of him to his left, and he yells, "Nobody die on this flight," and no one reacts. And I just turn around and I peek right through him, right at you, through the seat, and you're just like, it was honestly, man, I'm not an aggressive person. I never really want to fight, even in hockey. Everybody can attest to that. But this was the one time that I just felt like absolutely hauling off and punching this guy in the mouth and be like, there you go.
It was just uncalled
Now you
for.
can stay. Right? And I asked him
the flight
later,
gets delayed again because dudes gets in a
medical
fight.
emergency.
Back on.
I asked him, I said, what's the rush? And he goes, well, my buddies are back home going to get loaded. And I'm like, really? You joked about someone's life for that? You can't make this shit up, Ellie. You cannot make this shit up. I could try.
It makes me not like the Celtics that much.
Yeah,
wearing a big Celtics
jersey.
He's wearing a Celtics hoodie.
Who cares, man? It's not a funny joke.
I would just,
if I can bite my tongue,
yeah.
everybody else should.
Yeah.
But those ladies were awesome, man. I've never been a part of that. I'm thankful that I haven't. A CPR revival of sort in our area. It's one thing, it was at the back. You kind of just like block it off. But these ladies, man, I thank them. They didn't do shit for me, but I thank them because I thought right away, and Jeff made this point, what if it was just us three there? I don't know how to save anybody.
CPR?
I can barely spell CPR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
too.
it's like, I was thankful that those people, but man, what are the odds that there's 10 nurses on the...
Yeah.
So shout out to nurses, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's wild.
That's
and
what
to spring into action
this episode's
like that,
dedicated to some nurses.
And then I do remember the one lady come back. She was so calm. She wanted to see if it was her husband. She was so calm. She walked back.
Yeah. Purple
And they're like, is this your husband? Is this your husband? She goes, well, I don't know yet.
No.
Like,
Her husband was
calm.
sitting right behind me. And he goes, hey, it's I'm right here. I'm all good, honey.
No, it's not him. And she just bolts back to the front.
Yeah.
It was just like, the fact that people stayed calm throughout all of that was amazing to me.
I think everyone was just tired.
Yeah.
This
can't be
we did
happening.
stay calm, but everyone was just tired.
Yep.
Anyways, let's wrap. How much time are we at? We should be
57.
good,
We're at an hour and 1 minute.
Yeah. So there's a practice going on behind us. We're out here in Pictou Wellness Center. Shout out to John Sim. We're gonna wrap it up. Looking forward to this tournament. Dudes,
Yep.
you got anything to say?
38th edition of the Pictou County Memorial Tournament in memory of a family that lost their lives back in the day traveling back from New Brunswick. So it's a special one for us. It means a lot to be here. So we thank the people for trusting us with such a big event.
We're really excited. All right, we're out. Enjoy your week, everybody. Have fun, work hard, and we're out. Peace.
Let's get the Twiggies going.